Let's dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line as he does every week, except maybe next week. I think we're doing something next week. It may be a shortened version of it. But anyways, friends, he is the holiday elf himself, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I know him. He owes me money.
Congratulations, world's best cup of coffee. Elf is a really good Christmas movie.
I need to watch it again because I've never been big on it. I think I may have only watched it when I saw it in theaters, and I was kind of like, eh. And then the way that people love to market holiday icons like Buddy the Elf is like Mariah Carey to me. It's like, I don't want to be inundated with this, please.
Yeah. I think we're actually going to be talking about Christmas movies in depth. I don't know if it's this. I think we're going to doing something for next week because I've got a short week because I've took vacation and I don't want to work anymore.
You should. I mean, it's that time of year, okay? Sometimes it's a use it or lose it scenario. Sometimes it's just I want to kick back because of the holiday scenario.
Yeah,
that's understandable.
So, anyways, we're here to talk about movies and such. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com is on the line with me. As I said, I think we're going to do a little bit more with Rebel Moon and Iron Claw and a few other things next week. But the big movie coming out this week that everybody's been waiting for, Wonka, another Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory type thing. What do we think of Wonka?
I loved it.
Really?
Yes. Okay.
Now, wait, real quick. How did you like the other two movies that came out? What did you think? How does it compare to them?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was going to lay down because my whole love / obsession with the Willy Wonka lore came in third grade when I was at the video store with my parents the one day, and I see the box art for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And if I remember correctly, it's like the Disney-style clamshell. It's Gene Wilder with his arms out, and the kids are, like, standing on his arms. Like, that's the art. So I saw that. I wanted to see it. And I think it was my mom who made this bet with me. Because it was my mom or my dad. It was mostly my dad, but sometimes my mom would be at the movie store with us. And she's like, look, you read the book, you can watch the movie. I'm still a reader, but when I was a kid, I was a voracious reader. I read so much, and it was like, fine, lady. I'm going to take you up on your bet. So I got a copy of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, loved the hell out of the book, watched the movie, loved the hell out of the movie. And then when Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the Tim Burton reboot, came out in 2005, I didn't hate it. It was never going to surpass the Gene Wilder one for me, but I liked that it got towards one of the things that people like to say about Willy Wonka was it wasn't totally the tone of Roald Dahl's books, which are Roald Dahl, if you knew who that man was, like, if I'm not mistaken, he was friends with Ian Fleming. They served in the military together. They might have even served in intelligence together. But Roald Dahl was always someone that had this wicked sense of humor where he liked telling kid stories, but he was always like of the European tradition where it's like bad stuff happens in them.
Yeah.
And like the wicked do get punished, and there is definitely a sense of the wicked in those worlds. There was a little more of that in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory than Willy Wonka, although Willy Wonka Willy Wonka is one of those movies that if you love it as a kid, it ages perfectly because when you're an adult, you see all the snark and all of the stuff that Willy's doing, and it's like, ooh, they deserve that. They deserve those remarks.
They deserve that.
So I'm definitely a fan of Willy Wonka will remember that.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Anyway,
so you liked
that's my credentials. Oh, yes. This is a movie from Paul King, the director of the Paddington films. He also co-wrote it with Simon Farnaby, who co-wrote those films with him as well. But they also worked on something that I recommend people go watch called The Mighty Boosh. It was this, it's a Britcom.
Okay.
And it's basically like this really nutso sort of Britcom where it's these friends that, they work in a zoo in the first season and then they live in an apartment together. And they just go on these wild, tripped-out adventures, and it's very music-based. So naturally, that's a more adult series, so I don't recommend it for the whole family.
Okay.
But the thing is, they took that sensibility, and they put it into the Paddington movies to the point where there's a joke in Paddington 1 where it's like, we're now going to turn our backs on you. And then everybody formally turns their backs on this one person. That was a joke from The Mighty Boosh. they took that sort of anarchic, smart aleck sense of humor and put it into one of the most heartfelt movie franchises we have now. Wonka is continuing that, but it's more of a musical.
Oh, really?
It's more. Oh, yeah. No, Wonka is a musical. They're not. There seems to be a trend that people are picking up on right now where studios aren't selling their musicals as musicals, because Wonka's a musical. Color Purple's coming out on Christmas. That's a musical. The Mean Girls reboot that's coming out next year is an adaptation of the musical. But these movies aren't being marketed solely as musicals.
Okay.
And I'm kind of sad about that because the musical component of Wonka is great. This movie is not trying, and I say trying with a capital T, to make you feel the Willy Wonka magic all over again. It is just doing. It is just inhabiting its own space while also naturally recalling those memories and throwing in a good amount of references and nods without like hitting the nostalgia button too hard. It's doing its own thing. This is Willy Wonka, I would say decades before the events of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's young Timothy Chalamet first arriving in town with a dream to become a great chocolatier and fighting through all the obstacles and making all the friends he needs to in order to get there.
Is this going to be like a trilogy or something?
I want there to be more. There's room for more.
Okay.
If they really do want to end it here, fine. But the thing is, I want more, and I know that no matter how many more they make, there's going to be there has to be a movie where it's just going to be one of the most crushing, dispiriting things you've ever seen, because the whole lore of Willy Wonka talks about how he became a recluse.
Yeah.
Because he takes on the chocolate cartel in this first movie.
The chocolate cartel.
And then, well, that's what they're called. They're called the chocolate cartel because there are these three businessmen who run the three most prominent chocolate houses in the Gallery Gourmet. That's one of the main settings of this movie.
I know. It's just funny to hear it,
Oh, I know. Oh, and then the adventures with them get to be really funny. But you have an amazing cast of English actors in here. You have Jim Carter from Downton Abbey's in there. You have Olivia Colman. You have Patterson Joseph, Matt Lucas. Just wonderful. This movie is made of a murderer's row of talent, and everyone commits to Wonka. They know what Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was, and they know how to commit to it. And Keegan-Michael Key is really good in here too. But I never have a bad word to say about that man.
There you go, Mike Reyes. Go ahead.
No, go on.
I was just going to say, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com talking about Wonka. Real quick, Hugh Grant, how is he?
Oh, how do you think he is?
Oh,
He's
awesome.
He is fantastic as the Oompa Loompa. I believe his name is Lofty. But yeah, Hugh Grant he's gone on record as saying he hated playing this role probably because of the motion capture and everything. I totally get that, but you don't see that in the man's performance. Hugh Grant, literally, you cast this movie with people. It is pretty much a cast of everybody could crush it if they had 5 minutes alone.
All right.
That's my sign of like a fantastic actor. I also have to shout out Kala Lane, who plays Noodle. She's the young orphan that Willie becomes friends with. She's just phenomenal, and she gets there's a song that is both heartbreaking and uplifting in this movie, and just her and Timothy Chalamet are fantastic together. It's not manipulative. It makes you feel, but it's not like hitting you over the head with you have to feel, damn it. Like it's a big, colorful musical that needs to be seen huge. It's the holidays. This is the type of movie that gets released this time of year to be like, do you remember that where it's like the holidays, it's always those treats, like a Disney movie or like something where it's just, or Lord of the Rings, especially now that we're coming up on the 20th anniversary of Return of the King. I remember religiously, it was like clockwork. My father would get me the extended edition of the previous film for Christmas. We'd go see the new one in theaters together with my middle brother, Lou. Yeah. He was the one that really loved it with us. It was an event, and I don't feel like we get that as frequently anymore.
No, but I know exactly what you're talking about because there's been a lot of December movies that my wife and I have gone and seen like a late showing of because her folks are there and they can watch the kids. It's like, hey, do you want to go see a movie quick? Yeah, let's do it. So we'll go do it. But I know I get it. And this seems like a good holiday-esque movie. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now. So Wonka sounds like it's going to be pretty awesome. Family Plan is the other one coming out this weekend, right?
Yes. And while Wonka is available in theaters and IMAX this weekend, the Family Plan will be going to streaming on Apple TV+.
I saw part of a trailer for this, and I did not care about it.
It's a movie.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was like. It's Mark Wahlberg being Mark Wahlberg.
Like, I understand that. I see that Mark Wahlberg's kind of like sort of transitioning from more of the action and like sassy stuff that he's been doing into like he's starting to do more family movies, and I admire that. This movie has a good cast to it. It's not as engaging as I would want it to be.
Okay.
It honestly it's okay. Like, you could put this on and you could technically watch it with the family. This is edgier than you would think for like a family action comedy. Like, this rides the line between like bone crunching action and being able to watch it with your tweens very, very well.
Okay.
But it's okay. Like, I mean, like I said, I love the cast. Michelle Monaghan is one of my favorite actors. One of yours, by the way. Oh, she's an Ohio native, and I forgot. Sorry, Iowa native. I gotta throw that out to you. She's an Iowa native, and I really wanted to ask her because there's this whole subplot where their daughter in the movie wants to go to college in Iowa, and I really wanted to ask her, like, where did you get to like technically be a consultant and say like help lend the Iowa-ness to it? But I didn't get to ask her that, unfortunately.
What was her name?
I also wanted to tell her, Michelle Monaghan.
Okay. I'll have to look her up.
You may remember her from such awesome films as Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and
Mission
Gone,
Impossible
Baby
3.
Gone. Mission Impossible 3, yes. Which she kind of reunites with someone from Mission Impossible 3 in here because Maggie Q is in here too.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But it's okay. There's promise. If they want to make another one, I would be interested to see what they do with it. It's just, this is very, I think it'll work better with families than with adults. Wonka works with everyone.
All right.
This is more definitely family.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me. Real quick. Oh, wait. Were we going to do Candy Cane Lane now or later?
Well, we could do it either because, if you want to save it for the Christmas movies, we can.
But is it out this weekend?
It's been out. It's been out. It's on Prime Video for, I think, a couple weeks now.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just talk about it real quick because the only reason I bring it up is because it's Eddie Murphy. We're going to have more Eddie Murphy coming up here in a few minutes. But I did an interview with Angela Johnson Reyes, comedian, earlier this year, and she said that she was going to be in it. Drum roll, please. How is it? I kind of figured it was going to be that.
It's just, again, I watched this movie and I actively thought to myself, what, is streaming a good idea? Like, I know that technically streaming is great, but then I think about how some of these movies are greenlit and it's like, look, it's just going to go to streaming. So many people are going to be able to watch it. We're going to be able to tout that it's like, yeah, so many people watched this movie and it broke records. And that's kind of what they did with Candy Cane Lane. Like, it has some sort of viewership milestone where people are like, yeah, people are watching it and feeling the love. And it's like, first of all, some of your metrics are only based on people watching the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Second of all, just because everybody watches it on streaming doesn't mean it's universally acclaimed. It's on streaming. It's easy. It's so easy. Like, that's how some things become big hits or get big numbers, because it's on streaming. There's the level of entry is the bar to entry is low.
I want to save some of this because it goes into more Eddie Murphy than anything. So
yeah, I mean,
there's something I want to say, but I want to say it after we talk about the other Eddie Murphy piece. Okay, is that cool?
Yeah. Which I still need to watch the thing for that, but that's a quick fix because it's a trailer. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I will say, Candy Cane Lane had the thing that really irked me about this is it has promise. There's this whole thing where like Eddie Murphy is a dad in like this small neighborhood that's very big on Christmas. They have a Christmas competition to see who decorates the best. He has a feud with his neighbor across the street. Like, You've seen this movie before.
That's what I was going to
like
say. It
Eddie
seems
Murphy.
like it's like 3 different Christmas movies just kind of squashed into one.
Yeah, like the one I can think about is I never saw it, but that movie Deck the Halls with Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
But so the whole thing is he goes to this random Christmas shop that pops up out of nowhere under a bridge named Kringle's, and it's run by an elf played by Jillian Bell, who another person I will not say bad things about because even when she's saddled with a bad movie, she shines, and she basically this movie basically has the version of the Lucifer creation myth at Christmas. She is an elf she used to be Santa's favorite and was cast down because she was too rough on people. Because she feels that Santa is soft. So she sells these decorations to Eddie Murphy, and basically he has to go on a wild goose chase, which also involves literal wild geese, because the centerpiece of this is a tree that depicts the 12 days of Christmas and every bit of the 12 days of Christmas from the song. And Eddie Murphy and his family have to go chase after these objects because of it. And like I said, the wild geese are fantastic. Her playing an evil elf steals the whole damn show. I'm even going to reword that because it's that good. She steals the whole show.
Nice.
Like, that deserves a blip.
Yeah.
Jillian Bell is a damn icon, and I love her to death. Like, she was great in Workaholics. If you love dramedies, she has this fantastic movie called Brittany Runs a Marathon, which I think is on Prime Video. I actually got to talk to her for that and was just floored by the movie, floored by her. She is the best part of this movie, and that's just because of the writing. Like, I love Eddie Murphy. I love Tracy Ellis Ross. The actors that play their kids are good. You've got other great, like, comedic presences. This has one of the best choices for Santa, and I'm sad that we didn't get to see more of this Santa because he's sort of like a big third act reveal. But yeah, you could put this on and just it's whatever. Just watch it. I would say watch it for Jillian Bell and some of the other really good hijinks. But yeah.
All right. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com. I want to talk more about Eddie here in a second, but as we do move into the world of movie news, you brought it to the attention. I want to get the bad out of the way. Jonathan Majors, things are not looking good.
Well, I don't know if things ever looked good for this because it's been a very complicated scenario because, as everybody knows, Jonathan Majors is currently on trial for physical assault allegations, and obviously we're not accusing either way. We're not on either way of the fence here because, again, ongoing legal proceedings really need to look at what's coming out of those events, and what's coming out is disturbing.
Yeah,
it's literally described as disturbing in the coverage I've seen because he has there's texts and voicemails that have been released in court of Majors speaking with Grace Jabari, his ex-girlfriend, that accused him of the assault, or accused him of assault in the backseat of a car in March. And I'm reading through the Variety write-up right now, and it says here, Majors told Jabari she needed to act more like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama, and said things like, I fear you have no perspective of what could happen if you go to the hospital. They will ask you questions, and as I don't think you actually protect us, it could lead to an investigation, even if you do lie and they suspect something. It's really manipulative, like, ugh.
It's like it's straight out of a movie type stuff. And I know that and I'm not trying to make fun of it or light of it. It's villain stuff that you see in movies.
No, absolutely. I mean, it almost feels like an episode of SVU. This is a case that I would not be surprised in the next couple of years SVU does an episode that pulls from this, because this is exactly the stuff that they take inspiration from. And I know you aren't belittling it. It's just like you see this sort of thing, and it's like you're used to hearing this out of, like, this feels like more of a role Jonathan Majors would play on screen than in real life.
You know what? I can actually sum it up really quick. You know what it's like? You see it and you go, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like you think back to the beginning of this year, and like everybody was talking about his film Magazine Dreams. This was going to be his first shot at the Oscar. Creed 3 comes out. Everyone's hyped for that. And then the allegations come out. And then his future starts being questioned in the Marvel Universe. And then Magazine Dreams gets pulled. And then this happens.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to give this dude too much time or this story. It's too bad.
Yeah. I think we've done what we need to with it. It's just, we'll see what comes out now. And I hate to see it.
Yeah.
I hate to see it because
it's scary.
I hate to see, yeah. Yeah, and I don't say it because it's like, oh, he's so talented, he's never going to work now. It's like, no, I hate to see it because he was an up-and-coming talent that people liked, and people were, like, he's still a very talented actor.
Yeah.
But now that conflict, that's going to be a conflict in your own heart with, like, yeah, but he did all these things. Or
supposedly.
He's accused of doing all these things.
So... all right, we'll probably have more on this as it comes out. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now. We did have a surprise passing this week of a very beloved actor. Andre
Braugher. I mean...
that's out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, because apparently all that's been said is that he passed after a brief illness at the age of 61. And... the stories that I've seen come out about this guy are just legendary. I mean, in addition to being an amazing talent, like, you look at what this man did in his career. Like, I've never watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine all the way through, but I've seen clips of him on there, and he knows how to play the comedic, straight-laced boss. Like, he knows how to play the straight man to a T. To the point where my wife found a clip on TikTok, and we were watching it the other night, and it broke me with laughter. And then just right after, I'm just sitting there thinking, oh, man, he's no longer with us. And one of the best stories I heard about him, there's a great group on Facebook. I don't know how open it is for people to join, because I think you have to be approved, but it's called Crew Stories. And it's a wonderful, wonderful source of people that work in crew on films or TV, like in the industry. And also I think extras are in there, and like people that have worked on film sets, and there's some really fun stories on both the good and the bad side of the business.
Yeah.
Someone told a story about how they were working on, I think it was duets, like the karaoke movie with Huey Lewis, Gwyneth Paltrow, Paul Giamatti, and Andre Braugher. It's from like 20-something years ago. I think they said they were working on that movie. They were working on a movie with him. They were an extra. They met someone on set, and they had a crush on them. So they went out on a date. I'm paraphrasing this.
No, I know.
They went out on a date to a bar, and the guy didn't have much money on him. And he's like, he just randomly tells the bartender, oh, yeah, two shots of your finest scotch. Comes out to $60 in 97 money. Oof. He had no clue it was going to be like that.
Yeah.
Who's drinking at the bar at that time? Andre Braugher. Who covered him? Andre Braugher. He's like, it's okay, just put it on me. And he looks over him and he's like, thank you. And then Andre Braugher's just like, forget it. And that's like, the man was rich in spirit and rich in talent.
Yes.
And I'm so damn sad that we no longer have him, because like, even in something as simple as the Mist, like, he just plays straight down. Just he always knew the assignment. He always knew what to do.
No, absolutely. So, Andre, we wish you nothing but the best in the great beyond. Thank you for everything. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me. All right, as we wrap up this week, we had a number of interesting trailers drop. Where do you want to start?
Dear friends and listeners, just to clarify, Civil War we're not talking about Captain America Civil War. This is Alex Garland's latest film. It's a new A24 movie, so that sort of sets expectations. It's an Alex Garland movie, the man who brought us such films as Men, Ex Machina, Annihilation. He also wrote 28 Days Later. So you kind of get a sense of the man's environment.
This is not going to be a feel-good movie.
None of his films are feel-good movies.
No.
And this is probably one of the least, because, all right, so I've heard whisperings that this movie is going to be weirder than it lets on.
Okay.
Because some critics have already know people that have seen it. Like, there's been test screenings, what have you. They're whispers, so I don't know how much to trust that. Also, subjective opinion.
Yes.
From the trailer, Civil War looks like it's going to be a weaponized panic attack, and it goes back to some of Alex Garland's better movies, and I am so here for it. It is a near future United States where a new civil war is breaking out. And we're going to be following it from the looks of it through Kirsten Dunst, who plays a war journalist who's covering everything that's going down. Like, states are seceding, this new enclave of military powers apparently trying to invade the White House by Independence Day. Nick Offerman is our president in this trailer, and I love that. I kind of want Nick Offerman to play the president more. And, oh, yeah, he's another one of the better parts of Candy Cane Lane, because Nick Offerman's in there, too.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
But anyway, America is falling apart, and it looks like this is going to be it reminds me of Children of Men. It kind of reminds me of 28 Days Later because of the fact that it's like this group of people in this post-mid-apocalyptic setting that are just trying to survive, and you don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
And one of those people you don't know who to trust, you can trust, is Jesse Plemons, Kirsten Dunst's husband, and another fantastic actor that can crush in 5 minutes. There's just that chilling part in the trailer where he's like, "What type of American are you?"
Yeah.
You don't know.
As he's holding a gun, but no, this movie,
and wearing heart sunglasses.
Yeah, that's really. There's a little bit of Fortnite in that image.
oh, dude, that just makes it even more dystopian.
Yeah,
because it's like you've got this military figure that's just standing there, like looking kitted out like Fortnite, and it's like that's the next generation of soldier, and just oh man, and then that final shot of like DC looking like coverage of Desert Storm from the 90s, or like or like more modern war-torn coverage. Like you would think you're seeing this footage in another country, and it's like it's that old adage, it can't happen here, and it does in here, and oh man, it looks so good but so depressing.
I mean, you look at recent history in this country, and listen, I'm not going to say
there's dividing lines.
Yeah,
there's dividing lines, and they're pretty sharp.
There has been, we're on the path to another. So I mean, this is going to be an uncomfortable movie for some people.
Yeah, but that's why I'm excited for it, because I would rather be uncomfortable through fiction and learn a lesson than be uncomfortable in a reality where we don't learn those lessons.
You hope. So
yeah.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line. All right, one of the other trailers, a completely different direction of Civil War. We're getting another Kung Fu Panda movie.
Yeah, we are, and I'm very interested to see what happens with this. It's another one like Toy Story 4, where I don't know. I see the trailer and I immediately think I don't know if we need this or where we're going with it. But at the same time, I like Kung Fu Panda. I won't be upset seeing another Kung Fu Panda unless it's bad. But it looks fun so far.
Yeah, I like the trailer. Like the trailer, there was just a lot of are we redoing things again?
Well, the thing I really like about it is the fact that Poe is now transitioning to become like a leader. I forget what the exact title was, but he's going to become. It looks like he's growing up,
yes,
and needs to find the next Dragon Warrior, and that's a nice full circle moment where it's like he once had that journey, and now he's going to be the one that leads someone into that. And that part I like about it, but other than that, it's like I even read other people criticizing it online. It's like there's the villain, the chameleon, played by Viola Davis, is like absorbing people's powers and can shapeshift, and people are like, wait a minute, didn't we already do that in Kung Fu Panda?
The sniff at the end there. Mike Reyes just doing cocaine this morning.
Yeah, cocaine called getting over being sick.
It sounded like, Yeah, you know, but
Look,
you guys want to go rob a bank now?
You guys want to see a dead body?
You got you.
Now I'm just thinking about Jimmy Tango's Fat Busters from SNL.
Yeah. Oh God. Anyways, I guess it's gonna be another movie. It'll probably be okay in some regard. I didn't know we were getting another Kung Fu Panda. You know.
I knew, but like, I guess we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah.
And there is another family movie trailer that I could mention before we go to Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, real quick. Go ahead.
If John Krasinski, yes, it's called If, which stands for Imaginary Friend. It is John Krasinski's latest movie writing and directing. We have Ryan Reynolds starring in this because they're now like BFFs. And it also has Steve Carell as the voice of this gigantic purple monster. Well, not monster, but a purple thing. It looks like a creature. Gigantic purple creature. That's an imaginary friend. I'm guessing he was an imaginary friend of Ryan Reynolds when he was a kid, and now his daughter might be
seeing it,
looking to have a new friend. And they basically, there's like some sort of quest they have to go on to find all these imaginary friends' homes. And two things I'll mention is when you load the trailer up on Ryan Reynolds' YouTube page, the synopsis is, get ready for a heartwarming all-family film from the director of A Quiet Place, the star of Deadpool, and the studio that brought you Annihilation. So I love that pitch. That is pure. If Ryan Reynolds ever retires from acting, I don't know if he ever will, because he seems like one of those guys that's like Christopher Walken. He loves to work.
Yeah.
It's not a paycheck. It's that he loves to work. If he ever did decide to take a beat and step away from acting, marketing would be his shtick.
Oh,
for
totally.
Sure.
Oh, totally.
But then the other thing I will say is it looks cute. We'll see what happens. It's an original from Krasinski because he wrote and directed it. But you've also got this cast that includes, you got Ryan Reynolds in there, John Krasinski's in there somewhere, Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Fleabag and Indiana Jones 5, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Maya Rudolph, Bobby Monahan, Jon Stewart, Sam Rockwell, Sebastian Maniscalco, Christopher Maloney, Richard Jenkins, and Awkwafina.
Oh, good Lord. That's a good cast.
That is an amazing cast, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Hugh Jackman and or Dwayne Johnson cameo in there somewhere, because they're all thick as thieves in that circle. And as you saw with Free Guy, like, that's a very easy thing for them to sort of pull.
Yeah. No, totally. More cocaine, everybody. Mike Reyes from
Yeah. If I did cocaine.
I'm sorry, it was very funny. All right. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com. The final trailer we're going to talk about this week is going to be on Netflix. It's another Eddie Murphy movie. We're getting a new Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, we are.
Okay,
and
I'm going to tell you right now, the trailer looked awesome. I think it looked fun.
That's exactly it.
I have a lot of trepidation about this.
I do too. I went in with trepidation, but I have to say this is a tight trailer. This is a well put together trailer that there's enough nostalgia. There's enough people coming back that it's obviously going to goose the fans, but this just feels good. Like, Axel Foley's back. He's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a new partner, but Judge Reinhold's Billy Rosewood's back. John Ashton's John Taggart is back. Bronson Pinchot Serge is back. Paul Reiser's back. But then you've got Kevin Bacon coming in, who looks like a hard-ass possible villain. And honestly, this looks like, and I'm really hoping it is, the Bad Boys for Life of Beverly Hills Cop.
I mean, it's been, 30 years since Beverly Hills Cop 3?
I think it has been 30 years. And I will say something. The only
94.
one I haven't seen is 2. Yeah, 30 years next year. The only one I haven't seen is 2. I actually didn't mind 3.
I didn't mind 3. I didn't love it. I really like 2. I like 1 and 2 a lot. 3's okay. I just here's my thought and why I have trepidation. You go back and you look at, like, when he revisits one of these, classics like Coming to America.
Oh, Coming to America that was not good.
It's like, I would rather you not make a sequel to a movie I love if it's just you're kind of half-assed. And I don't know about half-assing it, but like, I don't always feel like Eddie Murphy's heart is always in everything he does.
Yeah, Coming to America definitely was half-assing it because of how much footage from the original movie was used in that to basically pad out the length.
Yeah.
Also, you wasted Wesley Snipes in that movie because he was so much fun, and it's like you could have done so much more with that character and with him.
I don't know. I want to love this, I really do, but you wronged me, lover. You've wronged me before. I don't know if I can trust you.
Exactly. It's like, and also it's just, again, it goes back to that world of streaming where it's like, we have the rights to Beverly Hills Cop. We can do a sequel. It's like, yeah, but should you? And like, This isn't the first time they've tried to do it because there was at one point, I think there was a whole other draft and director attached to this as a movie. But then before that, they tried to do a Lego sequel series on CBS where like Axel was back, but I think his son was a detective now. And like there was I think the whole deal was Eddie. I don't know if the whole deal was like something happened with a debate involving Eddie Murphy's participation and like the level he would be included. And that was the big dispute from what I remember that just sort of canned that. And that's a pilot that we may never see unless someone decides that, hey, maybe we can show this to people now. Or if this was the earlier days of home video releases, you'd probably include that as like a bonus on the Axel F Blu-ray. Because I remember when they did that same thing for LA Confidential. They put they filmed a pilot for a series with Kiefer Sutherland for HBO, and it's included on the disc.
I was trying to find a little bit more about because I forgot about the TV show.
They were supposed to go to CBS.
Yeah.
Like that was going to be a CBS, which that would have been interesting for the fact that you're going to put Beverly Hills Cop on TV after all of like the wonderful improv and the stuff that Eddie Murphy threw in. Guess what?
What?
The Internet Archive, as of the time of this recording, and who knows if this will get yanked because it's the internet, has the full pilot.
Oh, really?
Someone must have gotten their hands on the pilot and put it onto the internet.
Oh.
Because the whole thing was, there's a lost media board or a lost media page that talked about how it was, leaked at the end of last year.
If I'm looking at this right, you can find it on YouTube as well.
Oh. Well, yeah, it's like, I wish they would just release stuff like that because nothing is going to come of it. You don't, even stuff like Batgirl, like you're shelving this project. You don't want to sell it. You don't want to put it out in an official capacity. Fine. Like release it to the world. Let someone leak it. Like,
and Eddie Murphy is in it.
You're not, well, yeah, he's in the pilot, but I think the whole thing was, here it is. Murphy later stated that his appearance, this is from the Lost Media Wiki. Murphy later stated that his appearance in the pilot doomed the chances of the show getting picked up, saying, quote, "The reason that didn't get picked up was because the studio thought I was going to be in this show because the lead was my son. And you're going to pop in every now and then." I was like, I ain't popping in shit. Well, we ain't making a TV show. I was in the pilot, but they wanted me there every week. The pilot was good. It tested where they have these knobs that you like turn it if you like it. And when I came on the screen, Axel Foley would come on the screen. They'd turn it, so it literally broke the knobs on the thing. I was like, damn, they're breaking knobs? So yeah, between and also, I think this was who was running this show? Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan was one of the producers, and he created The Shield, Sons of Anarchy. He worked with CBS on SWAT. Oh, The Shield. And yeah, I love The Shield. I still need to finish watching it, but I love The Shield. But basically, Sean Ryan and CBS clashed. Eddie Murphy didn't want to be in the show as often as people would have wanted, so the show never went to series.
Well, we'll have to see what happens with this. It looks good. Hopefully it is good. That one of those type of things, you know?
Yeah, like there's promise.
Yes.
There's promise here, but we'll see if it actually gets fulfilled.
I mean, how many trailers have you ever seen that are just garbage? You know, the trailer's great, movie's garbage.
Man, I would love to try and go back and like chronicle all of, if not the most infamous times that happened. And the first one I can think of is Godzilla 98.
I was going to say that could be a really interesting top 10 list. Top 10 bad movies with awesome
Best trailers for worst movies.
Yeah. Well, you're the guy who writes for a movie website. That might be your 2024.
Oh, yeah, I write for Cinemablend.com.
Yeah, that sounds like an idea. Anyways, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joins me every week to talk about movies and such. We'll leave it there for this week. Mike, you have yourself a great weekend, and we'll probably chat shortly next week before I go on vacation and stop caring about work.
Yeah, we're going to do that.